So we burnt some sage, and we're hoping that that will fix the problem.
The Haunting.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Twat, Two Wongs and a White, the show where we simply sit down and chew the cud. I'm Harshy, this is Ken, and this is Tam. Now, because it's that special time of year, we're going to chat about, well, not necessarily our favourite movies, but we're going to talk about the top 30 movies of all time that have grossed the most and have their own little following as far as the horror genre goes. So we're going to start it off. I'm going to start off with 28 Days Later.
But before we start, we always forget our
We always
traditional
forget the
shot.
traditional shot. I'm
Let's
always
do a
too
tequila
keen to
shot,
get
guys.
in there, boys. Okay, here we go. We'll get it right. Maybe by the time.
That's good.
All right, so 28 Days Later. It was made in 2002 by Danny Boyle, directed it. Okay, now the reason I like this movie so much, and I didn't even realize it at the time, is that it stars Christopher Eccleston. Christopher Eccleston.
Who that?
Who dat? He is no other than the new, when Doctor Who renewed itself, he is the 9th Doctor. And so...
Somebody owes us a six-pack.
Six pack coming up.
So,
Sorry for the interruption.
And but he's the 9th Doctor of Doctor Who. He was a Billy Piper. Billy Piper. So yeah, 28 Days. 28 Days Later. Sorry, not to be confused with 28 Days, starring Sandra Bullock. That would really change
Isn't
the
that
genre.
like a romantic?
It's a rom-com.
Rom-com?
So you can imagine that.
comedy
Imagine she
drama.
just wanders into 28 Days Later. I mean, she did her own. She did Birdcage.
Birdcage was,
so, you know.
honestly, Birdcage was alright. Anyways, back to 28 Days Later. I particularly really like this movie. It's one of the better zombie films.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. Who's seen it amongst us?
I've seen it, but it was a long time
Long
ago.
time
I mean,
ago.
you mentioned something, I'm going to know it, but
It's the the plot's every generic zombie movie, but it's virus outtake. It's different.
I mean, it doesn't have a bad rating, 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb. So
I know,
Yeah.
right?
What
Not
was
bad at all.
what was the budget for this movie? Because honestly, there was watching it like a couple years ago. The CGI or not CGI, the effects weren't
They weren't
crazy.
that great, but
They
it
weren't
was
crazy,
it was
right.
it sort of came at that time when we were all worried about the apocalypse. It came at that time of year,
Yeah.
2002 end of the world type of thing.
like 2000s to 2012.
Yeah. So
yeah.
we've got it cost £5 million to make. Okay,
Wait,
so
only
that's
£5 million?
£5 million. So that's what $17 million.
Wait.
Okay.
Well, that's it.
Or no, sorry, $10 million, $8 million in US.
That's it
That's it. That's all it costs. Now, what do you think it grossed? And this isn't to date.
today. Oh, it's just when it first came out.
Yeah,
fresh,
yeah,
right. The weekend box office.
Yeah.
it's times 40, right? Times 40.
I would say
The taking's in US dollars. I couldn't find it in pounds. So
I would say
okay.
50 million US dollars as the gross.
Sir?
Yeah, grossing.
Probably closer to 100.
You think so?
Well, we'll meet in the middle. $82 million.
For 8 million budget. Wow.
Yeah, that's not bad,
Wow.
huh?
I mean, you have to think about how much of that money goes to marketing, and it's only $8 million. You know what I mean? Today's standards, that's nothing. That's nothing in movie making.
bad at
It's
all.
how much you
Wow.
pay your actors to act in a movie.
That's
pretty much.
amazing.
Well, they probably, I'm not quite sure what the background is in this, but maybe they took that wonderful thing I like to talk about, the back end. But, who knows? Who knows? But I enjoyed it. I liked the whole
I liked
I
it.
remember one particular scene where I think they're at a toll gate and he looks up and gets a bird shit in his eye or something.
Yeah,
and
that was-
then we just know. We know
That
he's
he's
done.
that he's done.
He's good, within 24 hours, he's going to be zombified.
Yeah.
Horrible.
I like the first transformation of like the zombie because they aren't really zombies. They're more like humans infected with a viral disease that make them go crazy.
Yeah,
Type of
the madness.
Right,
thing.
madness. They're like the mad cow disease kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
equivalent to humans. So it was a good take, I mean, it's one of the first, I believe, takes I've seen on cinema that's not like the mummified dead or the
Yeah,
reincarnated.
the typical.
Yeah. These are aggressive zombies. So
These,
human, and then
true human nature.
in humans, human physiology still occurs. If they don't eat, they die, they decay over time. It's like cool.
Yeah.
Sick, dude. This is a
Yeah.
cool concept. Yeah, great movie.
Great movie.
If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. If
Yeah, you
like
should
zombie
definitely watch
movies.
it during this holiday
Skip
season.
World War Z and then just watch this because World War Z was shite.
World War Z is with Brad Pitt, right?
Brad Pitt.
The
yeah,
most
yeah.
recent zombie
That was a
apocalypse
very
movie.
strange movie.
It was weird.
It was very slow paced. It was strange, and Did they have those weird animals in it too? Some real.
No.
No?
This one didn't have the weird.
It was very story driven. You had to think
Yes.
a lot about it, and it's like a zombie movie. You don't want to think about a zombie movie. You're watching a zombie movie because you don't want to think.
right.
You just
You're
wanna watch
watching it for like
Creepers
the
or scramblers.
Right. The survival of the humans.
Yeah.
Put yourself in their shoes type of situation. Right.
Well,
Anyone else got one to
Anyone
pick from
we
this
got one
list?
thing? Yeah.
well, okay. So another movie is The Shining.
Oh,
Hey, you can't really say.
I mean, it's a
say anything
classic,
about
everybody
that.
no, it,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
It was fantastic, and the shot that was Stanley Kubrick, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was a masterpiece. I mean, it was totally mind fucking.
Yes.
For its era, what was it? In the 70s,
80s?
1980. That's
Right.
right, 1980.
You know what? I gotta say that movie ages well. It
It
still
did.
looks good. I rewatched it like a year ago. I'm like, damn.
Do they have a
movie good.
remastered version of it?
Not a remastered
I
version.
wouldn't want a
A
remastered
part
version.
2 called The Sleep Doctor.
That's Doctor Sleep.
Doctor Sleep. Sorry, Doctor
I actually
Sleep.
haven't seen it because
Brilliant.
Really, is
it
it?
ties it all together because without spoiling, they
Please don't.
it is about the kid from the movie, from The Shining. It's about the kid that had the shinning,
Oh, really?
and he's now an adult.
Oh, that's the character.
That's the character, and now he keeps on being drawn back to what's been going on in his life to close things off, and it's not bad. Kevin was a bit disappointed.
the only reason
but-
why I haven't seen it is because the reviews for it was kind of whack.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, when I heard Doctor Sleep, if you're not a Stanley Kubrick fan,
Yep.
then you wouldn't know that this was a direct sequel. Or
Well, yeah, exactly.
yeah, and so like if you're just seeing this, like, oh, what the fuck is Doctor Sleep? It might be a shitty horror movie. So
I
you
actually
skip
thought it was a
over
remake. And I'm thinking, oh, come on, it's too early for a remake. It was a
Right.
good movie.
It
Why
was
would
a
you do
great
that?
movie, yeah.
And then as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, okay, this is good. This is like a part 2. That's what
Okay.
we wanted. Sorry.
What were your favorite things about it in terms of like the movie? Because Stanley Kubrick has a style. Was
You mean
it as color?
the original?
No. Doctor Sleep. Before
Dr.
we go back
Sleep,
to the original,
it
'Cause you
was
convinced
shot
me,
the
you know.
same.
Oh, really?
It was shot exactly the same cinematography, the same lighting. In fact, I think it was pretty much the same LUT. It's like you stepped out. It's like you stepped out and moved into the next section.
Look up tables, everybody.
Just in case you guys
You know,
don't
coloring and
know.
things like that.
Yeah. Okay. So did it have like the same color aesthetics? You know, like that red door.
Yeah. Well, they were being. He goes back to the hotel.
Oh my. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of it they had
That's
to
cool.
redo because the original hotel isn't there anymore.
Oh,
So a lot of it is, from what I can imagine, would probably be CGI sets and a bit of composite and a bit of live set stuff put in. I'd love to see behind the scenes of it, but it really did for me, it did justice to essentially what you think a movie has ended because The Shining ended and you knew it ended.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There was like a definite ending.
There was a definite ending to it. It didn't really leave the door open for a part 2. And there's nothing worse than when movies leave the door open to a part 2 and they don't have one. This one, you thought it was all put to bed and great. And then all of a sudden you find out there's a part 2. There was a second book written and it's like, yes, please.
Oh, that's
So-
sick. Well, only what's that? Stanley Kubrick.
Kubrick, yeah.
Can do something like that. Yeah. What was the budget for this? Because I saw the trailers. It
Budget
looked
for
like a
this
good movie. It looked like a well-made movie.
I think it was around $15 million.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's relatively small too, because this movie came out last year, right?
No, this is
Or
this is- This
2018.
is not Doctor Sleep.
No.
This is
I'm sorry, I'm talking about. Oh, you're talking about
The Shining.
Oh, I was
The
asking
Shining.
for Doctor.
The Shining.
My bad. So The Shining's budget was
$15 million.
million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
this was back in 1980.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it has a
That's a
very good
lot.
rating, 8.4.
That's to be fair, there's not fundamentally flawed. That movie is like nothing's fundamentally flawed about that movie unless you pick it apart. You
Although
know?
I don't know if I could trust the IMDb rating system there.
Look, you look at Rotten Tomatoes, you look at IMDb, you look at all the local polls, they change. And that's the problem with any type of polling system. It's up to the individuals or the group that they're polling. And I mean, look, I definitely give it a high. You know, I definitely
I'd give it a
8.
eight,
you know,
9,
yeah.
yeah.
I usually rate things like 10 out of 10. But
I know what this movie grossed, like 150 million back, 100%.
No.
Really?
You'd be
Never mind.
surprised.
Okay.
It's under 50.
Yeah.
Under $50 million.
Wait, no way.
But to date, I think there's probably more.
Oh, that's nuts. I did not expect it to be that
Unless
low
they
for
put it
some
on
reason.
streaming or something like that, then probably makes more money. But
Oh, but
at the
you
time of the weekend
you
gross,
can
you know?
consider The Shining as like a cult classic.
Well, that's
yeah?
the thing. A lot of cults don't make a lot of money. They're just popular. That's the thing. Isn't that crazy? How something can be so popular but not make a lot of money? I mean, even Rocky Horror Picture Show to date hasn't really topped that much.
Right.
You know?
Damn, that's kind of bizarre because looking back at it now, as like even as a kid in his 20s, The Shining was before my time.
Yeah.
But growing up, I've always heard about it. There's always references about this movie, and to think that it only grows 50 million, that's
Less than 50
less
million.
than 50 million.
Yeah.
That's actually mind-boggling for.
So how much did it gross, sir?
46.
46.
Oh,
Yep.
damn.
Yeah,
Well, that's
exactly.
actually
I know.
that's actually unexpectedly low. That's kind of sad in my eyes.
A lot of these are sad, actually.
Really?
When you,
Well,
when
yeah,
you look
okay.
at what's grossing and as to what they made.
Right.
Yeah.
But if we look at it in monetary terms, it probably doesn't seem like much, but then probably to the director and the audience, it was a great movie.
they've made their money.
Yeah.
They've made their money. And,
Right.
but the funny thing is, Doctor Sleep grossed 72 million. But it also cost 45 million. So
Yeah,
it
that
made the
didn't
initial
do-
takings of the other
Yeah.
film
Yeah.
to get that.
There's like a pattern. There's like, it's all right.
yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay, I want to piggyback off yours and get off of like this kind of horror based around these people.
Yeah.
Like people horror. I'm going to move on to the outer space.
Yeah.
Aliens. So
Oh.
it has to be one of my top
Alien,
three
the original?
original
Alien.
Alien favorite
Yeah.
like thriller horrors. First of all, the Alien verse, the Alien universe that kind of fucked up in the. Let's not even talk about the fucking sequels afterwards. The original, my boys,
Ridley Scott.
Ridley
Yeah,
Scott,
yeah.
my guys. It's still to this day holds up.
Isn't it? It's very
holds up.
2001. In fact, it was done in sort of that same genre of 2001.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that
You're talking about
aesthetics
Space
of
Odyssey.
Space, yeah, Space Odyssey.
Yeah. It's same type of style, same type
Alien,
of vibe,
I think,
except
was
darker.
scary. They did have a remake, which is not a remake, maybe a follow-up called Prometheus, which is very similar
Prometheus
to.
was a
It was
prelude.
whack. Yeah,
Really?
it's a
That
prelude.
was the.
Yeah.
That was. It's like Star Wars 6's number
Do we
one,
have
that type of
a
thing.
alien universe lover here? Like you
I
like the whole
love
lore?
all of them.
Because not a lot of people will like can
I
recall that.
just
you
well,
know?
it's funny. It's just one of the. I'm not really into aliens
Uh-huh.
to Alien itself, but they're just the things click like Prometheus.
okay,
I think
okay.
maybe because I didn't really like Prometheus.
No, I didn't like
and
it
I'm
either.
just
Very
like, oh,
slow.
okay, it's a prologue.
It's
or
slow, but then
or epilogue. What's the beginning of
They
something?
ruined the lore of the whole.
Epilogue.
Epilogue. Yeah.
They ruined the whole lore of the universe. They ever since they did Alien versus Alien 2, they kind of just fucked the whole.
What
lore
about
up.
Alien versus Predator? Predator?
Predator?
Predator?
Let's see. It's not canon. That's for sure. That's
It was just a franchise grab.
You know, like any of those type of movies that are just meant to see like cool. Godzilla versus any other monster type
Yeah,
of movie.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
a
yeah.
monster movie.
Yeah.
It's like, oh look, they fight. Oh, cool, very
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
You know,
Very nice.
very
Bring
nice.
on the
He
moth.
stab. Oh,
Yeah.
nice. So it's like, all right.
Yeah. I
Cool.
think the Predator movies, they sort of made the Alien series kind of dissolved a little bit.
Well, they were struggling.
Yeah.
It was it had changed, and then there was the both genres were crossing over with each other. Were they?
No,
made by the same studio, weren't they?
They kind of crossed the universes by accident, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
But they
Question though,
Yes?
Aliens or Predators, originals, which one's your favorite?
I'd have to go
I know they're two
Predator.
different kind
I'd
of
have to go
genres.
Predator.
Predator?
Yeah, I just like the whole.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that whole.
Did you like the
something you can't? Well, it's on the earth.
And it's like, but did you like the fact that it was just men fighting?
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a testosterone fueled.
Oh man, throw some in the bush
Okay,
with
well,
no shirts and I'm done.
My bad,
It's
but
like-
I didn't. Yeah, I
But no,
opened that
I
up,
like
but-
the whole setup of it. The way
Right.
you weren't in space, you're in a safe place. You're on Earth. It should be safe, and you're already fighting a bad guy. And all of a sudden, who's this third fucker?
Right, with like advanced tech and
Yeah.
shit.
But like with Arnold Schwarzenegger, the first,
yeah.
Yeah, the original Predator, yeah.
that was the best. Like I think the original Alien and the original Predator was great. The way they crossed them over was not great.
Again, the crossover was by accident.
It was a
It's-
grab.
It was
Wasn't
a
it where
grab.
they,
It was a
they, were,
grab.
they were digging a hole into the earth or something? Is that with the big laser through the earth when the two of them were together?
They're
and
all
then-
the same.
And then one of them ended up being the good guy, the Predator versus
Yeah.
One of them
yeah,
was
yeah.
one of them was a good folk.
Well, good. It's very.
But according to the
not as
lore,
good.
Yeah, exactly.
Predators always sort of imprisoned Alien because they had this overlord mama, alien
Of
mama.
course, that's right. Because the aliens are pretty much just a dog.
No, well, they are parasites because
Yeah.
they live in
Parasites, that's the
hosts
word,
and then they
parasites.
come out,
Yeah,
right?
I want to get a little nerdy here, but I do watch a lot of lore videos just because I love this universe. So the predators are a race, obviously, and
Yeah.
they have like hierarchy. They have like the super predator, they have the great predator, they have like the elder predators, blah blah blah. The ones we see in the movies are kind of like lieutenant level.
They're the hunters.
They're the hunters, like they're just on the
Grunts.
ground and not grunts. They're
No.
they're above
Next
the grunts,
level up.
but they're like a
Actually,
little,
bounty hunter type
not
of
not
thing.
even that.
Yeah.
They are trainees. They have
No,
to.
that's an Alien. I think that's Alien versus Predator. Those are trainers, but the original Predator, like the original Predator movie, he was like top tier, just trying to like hunt for the game. He's in the game phase where he's like, I will bring this to my people for honor, and I was like, that's sick.
Do they ever go to the Predator's planet? Do we ever see
No,
that?
we haven't. It's
see,
only in the comic.
that's
maybe
gonna be
maybe in the
coming up.
future.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future.
Maybe,
But
they don't. fuck it
Predator
up
movies
anymore.
were not scary.
They
at all,
weren't. They really
personally.
weren't, yeah.
But Alien movie,
Alien is scarier
Alien's a
than
good
Predator.
horror because
Yes.
doesn't the Predator? They're not that scary. Let's be honest here.
What I find scary about it, like I said before, is the fact that you're on Earth and you're supposed to be safe.
Yeah, that's the scary
and then
aspect,
you
yeah.
know you just hear this shit and see a shimmer, and all of a sudden you're fucked up.
Yeah, you're fucking cut in half with a laser beam.
Yeah, or your mate is, which is even worse. I mean, I'm
yeah,
sorry, I'd rather go first. I don't want to see
Really?
someone that I mean, I don't want to see someone that I'm standing with. This is like, thump.
But
Okay.
what if that moment you had a chance to like bolt it?
Well, yeah. What is it? You're only as fast as the person who's running behind you.
All right.
So
You'd be fucked either way.
yeah. Well, speaking of any other horror movies that happen in the aquatic region, have you-
Aquatic.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about Yaws?
yours.
Yaws, Yaws.
Yaws.
We mean
Nice.
Jaws, but
So
Yaws. Yes.
first of all, I feel like there's a theme here. All the originals were so good. Have you ever seen any of the sequels? Jaws 2, 3, and then whatever
They
fucking
will never do
Megalodon came out?
justice to the original.
Right, exactly.
Never. No matter how bad they are, because it was the original. And sorry, maybe that's just me because I'm a bit of a purist when it comes to films, but you can't. Once the concept's there, once it's been done, that's why I dislike remakes a lot, unless they really do it well.
So
and-
I'm assuming you didn't like the Disney remakes.
I don't like Disney remakes at all. No. You look, they're already stolen stories. Why redo them? you know?
Oh, I'm not a big Disney fan in general, I'm assuming.
Well,
Okay,
if the
gotcha.
studio's here, I'm in trouble. But you know,
Yeah. Well, I think
Jaws,
Jaws
yes. Back to
didn't
Jaws.
age well, though.
It did not.
It did
Honestly,
not
it
age
did
well
not.
because
Neither
of all
did
the
Jaws.
graphics and everything.
like the original, all the original props. There's very few of them still in existence. They set
Yeah.
out the backlots of Universal. The original boat was sitting on a jetty somewhere. It's my Polish accent.
Jetty?
It
The
was
jetty?
sitting on a jetty somewhere, and it was just decayed. And Spielberg, they did a tour. That's why it was in one of the Swamp Tour rides of Universal Studios, and they went past. And it's like something needs to be done. You know, this is the same thing happened with DeLorean from Back to the Future.
wait,
It
what
was
happened
sitting
to
in
the
books.
DeLorean?
The original car one, right? There's like 8 cars used in the original, like
Yeah.
or 8 cars throughout the 3. The car 1 and car 2 were just left to rot out the back of the back lot. They just didn't care. And that's the same with the boat, the same with the
that's
animatronic
sad.
Jaws. But Jaws, I forget, they gave it a name. I can't remember what they called the Jaws robot, but there were like a couple of them. There was like an animatronic, there was just a rubber one, but it kept on failing.
Oh, shit.
It failed every single time.
I could guess how much they spent. What was the budget for Jaws?
Like back in the day. When did this movie come out?
It came out in 1975.
I would assume like 8 million or something back then.
So close.
Really?
So close.
Really?
Yeah.
Just off by $1 million.
Yep.
Really? It was 7 million?
Yeah.
$7 million.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well,
And you know how much it made?
I'm going to guess like, I'm going to lower my number since from the Shining. So I'm going to guess like 51.
Jesus, no, of course not.
Oh, no.
Really? How much did this make?
Less than $500 million, but in the ballpark.
Wait,
of
500 million?
Yeah.
less than 500, but like
Okay, first of all, who likes Jaws over The Shining? Just saying. What the fuck? All right.
It
had
was
a
summer when
shark.
it was released.
Okay, true. Yeah. It started the whole summer frenzy type
You know,
of situation, right?
it was shot in Martha's Vineyard and all that type of
Mm-hmm.
thing. So yeah.
I would say 498 million.
oh, so close, so close.
Really?
A little bit less, a little bit
Okay,
less.
just tell me.
470
470
Yeah.
million?
Yeah.
on a budget of $7.
Million.
Yeah.
Damn.
And they all got paid rate for the movie. They all did it for rate.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
My God.
Roy
And,
Schneider, Richard Dreyfuss, they all did it for rate just so the movie could be done.
No wonder why this
And
movie has like
could
2,
you
3.
tell to the audience what does that mean? Because a lot of the people
Oh,
don't
rate.
know the rate.
Sorry, rate. It's like a schedule of payment. So, say you're in an office and you've got a manager's level of payment might be $50,000 a year. Then a customer service rep might be $35,000 a year. With actors, is what they call a rate. And the rate is, okay, say for a day player, As a backgrounder, you might get like $500 to $700. If you're one of the principal characters on like say your second or third call on the sheet, you might make like $200,000. And if you're number one on the call sheet, which is the sheet you get the day before to turn up to the job, which that dictates where you are in the structure of the dog market, I guess. You could be making, well, you can name your price depending on whether they pay it or not, or who you are. But that's what rate is. Rate is
salary,
the basic salary of what you get. And there's like all the equities and things like that. There's a basic rate.
Okay.
Wow. That's actually, I didn't know about that. I mean, I thought it would be called salary, but rate is a very
yeah. Well, you got what's called a rate card.
Interesting.
Yeah, which
everything's different in the movie industry.
It differs from country to country.
Oh, okay.
Like in America, you got the fucking Teamsters to deal with, and they are a real thing, both live and recording. And then you've also got the in Australia, you got it's not called Actors Equity anymore, but you got the Equity Group in Australia. In the UK, you got the same thing.
Oh shit!
Which is there to look after
the actors,
and the actors can actually turn around and say, or the Teamsters per se can turn around and say, we're not working on set because that person isn't a member. They can shut down a set. It's fucking crazy.
That's crazy as fuck.
It is crazy because it has
hell.
nothing to do with safety or fairness. It's just a fucking power play.
Power trip. Yeah.
Did you know that Disney calls their employees cast members?
Yes.
So it's a nice way to approach this.
I find that stupid as
when
fuck.
I worked at Fox Studios, because we had the front of house, which is like the entertainment quadrant, which is still there. A lot of all the theme rides are gone because it just wasn't cost effective. Now the back of the end is still back studios, but everyone at the front, no matter what you were, whether you were security, information access, or actual costume or whatever, you were all called cast.
Interesting.
And there was front of house and back of house.
Interesting. That's cool.
It's kind of nice to be named cast instead of employee because employee is really diminishing.
Or
It's just so inclusive. Well, we were all bitches. Make no mistake about that. It just felt so inclusive.
Yeah.
Well,
Very
I
cool.
guess that wraps up the Halloween selection of our movies. So if you do enjoy scary movies, if you do enjoy any of the spooky stuff, you should definitely go to the Games Radar website, Radar website, sorry to mispronounce that, and watch them.
Check it out.
Yeah, check them out. And Harshi, would you like to take that away?
I will take it away. If you've liked the show, guys, subscribe. If you want to hear about more, hit on that bell. And if you have anything comments to add, write down below. I'm Harshi. This is Tem. This is Ken. And we're going to catch you next time on Twat.
Bye.